Welcome back to Coastal Reaction, and welcome to first gen Rams with Big Easy. Now, some people say, oh man, a 68 Camaro is my dream car, a 70 Challenger, and I can't really disagree with that. For me, it's a big old 93 Dodge pickup with a manual trans. Now why, you say? What makes them so good? They ride really hard, the bodies rattle, they're loud, they smoke, they run forever, they don't have central axle disconnect. So what you're looking at right here is a good old Dana 60 Kingpin front axle with locking manual hubs on the outside. And one of my things I don't like about my new Ram is the front end's always turning. People don't want to get out and hit the hubs anymore. They make it their feet muddy. Well, I don't mind asking Bobo to get out and put the hubs in. So,
that is so true.
So right here on the newer trucks, they'd have a slider that would engage the short side axle, or actually the long side axle, sorry. It's just on the other side because second gens are driver side drop, not passenger side drop for the axle. I prefer these. There's no ball joints. They're kingpins. So really it's two steel bushings on top of each other. Yeah, it's a bit harder to set up your front end and have it just right. Ball joints provide a better ride, but they don't last anywhere near as long. If you keep these greased, and it's as simple as this. Oh, except for this grease zerk is a bit old and dirty, so let's just see if we can get her to work here. No, she doesn't want to take it right now. So, I won't bore you with cleaning the grease zerk off repeatedly. Sometimes the center pin doesn't want to work. It could be this grease gun tank. These ones don't really need a good greasing yet. They've only got about 2,000 miles on the last time since it was greased. There we go. So that's it. That's how many pumps it took. There's 3 pumps in there. And there's one on top, but they're full. I'm not going to overfill them. That's actually worse for the truck. It'll blow the seals out and allow dirt to get in. Super simple, leaf spring front end, bulletproof, carry a ton of weight. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Use the KISS method. As we work our way back here, we got a little bit of a tranny seepage issue going on, /TK seepage issue. We'll address that. But like I said, super simple. She's old, but she's solid all the way through. And it runs back to the Dana 70 rear axle. Now the way you can tell a 70 from a 60 rear end in a Dodge truck, look at the outers, they'll neck down just before it gets to the backing plate on the rear drums. If it goes straight across the whole way, then you got yourself a 60 in the back. If it comes across and necks down at the very outside edge, then you're looking at a Dana 70. And I mean, that's it guys. She is stone cold simple. 205 gear drive transfer case, Get-Rag 360 transmission that takes 5W30 full synthetic motor oil to work properly. I always run an extra liter in them, keeps them quiet. The original trans in this truck went 200,000 kilometers and it still ran fine. It just was popping out of first, popping out of second. It had wear on it. So I'd say this one's got at least 200,000 left in it because it was just rebuilt before we lost my dad. And this truck it could use a steady bearing right here. You have to keep an eye on these if you have a first gen. This one, I don't know if it's ever been done, but she does have a bit of play in her. It's not horrible, but keep an eye on your steady bearing. I also might upgrade the exhaust. It's only got 3-inch straight pipe. Now this truck's staying stock, so it really doesn't need much more than 3-inch. We're running a set of Toyo M55s on it. They're a good all-around aggressive tread tire. Yeah guys, simple, just strong cross members, no vacuum lines coming down to the diffs, nothing to worry about. This truck is an oddity because they usually rust out right here and in the torque boxes here. This truck is not. It is solid. I am going to clean all this and undercoat it later on, Same with, I'm gonna put new front shocks in it. She's got new rear shocks. We just changed the oil. Doesn't need tires. The brakes were just done. So we're good to go for the brakes. The suspension's not worn out. We're good to go there. Cosmetics and really just upkeep. And we are gonna get underneath here, like I said, and spray all this out. So normally on a first gen, this would all be rotten. Like on the truck I had, this was just shot. The whole thing was. That's why I ended up selling my truck. I couldn't be bothered to put a whole cab on it. So same with these mounts, they were known for it. The problem was the cab and box and everything was built in Mexico. Quickly, cheaply, they're junk. Anybody that tells you the body, wiring, and box on a first gen isn't junk is lying. Yes, they're stone cold reliable. They will run forever until the body falls off the truck. That's the truth. But the body themselves were very cheaply made. They weren't undercoated properly. So if you find a first gen Ram like this in this condition, grab it. The prices on them just keep going up. No, this one will never be for sale, so don't ask. And check underneath here. And there's one other big place to check. So this truck had a really easy life. Quite easy. It was always parked over a driveway. Never, you know, my dad washed it, it was cared for. Up here, in the leaf spring hangers, they collect dust and road debris and they rot out. So I've changed these ones 2 years ago. 2.5, Bubba? When was that?
2.5, 3 years ago.
2.5, 3 years ago. And it's all attached now with grade 8 hardware. But they're a pain in the rear to change because they got great big rivets that you have to grind off and then needle hammer or punch out. And finding these is next to impossible now. And the dually ones are different than the single rear 3/4 ton. So this one happens to have the big overloads and stuff from the dually, but it's just single rear as you can see. But yeah, all 4 of the leaf spring hangers. And you want to always check right here by the gas tank. They will get so rotten, instead of just dirt like I'm getting out here, this will be completely rotted out. So if you go to look to buy a 93 and down Dodge Ram, especially if it's a Cummins, the first thing you do, check the frame rail along the gas tank, fuel tank, because it's probably going to be rotten even on a clean truck. And they're still salvageable. Doesn't mean you don't have to buy the truck. You'd still buy the truck, but factor that into the cost when you're looking for stuff. When you go to buy, whether it be a first gen or a muscle car, you need to be realistic with yourself. What can I fix myself? What do I have access to tools wise? And what is the least likely thing that I can tackle? Well, for a lot of guys out there, fixing a frame, which involves dropping the fuel tank, cutting it, sometimes taking the body off and plating it, adding new frame pieces, really isn't realistic, especially if it's your first kind of project truck. I recommend find the vehicle with the least amount of rust. You can find these sometimes with blown up automatics for a good deal. Swapping an NV4500 or a Get Rag 360 is easy. If you have a garage and a couple of buddies to help you, you can do it. So make sure you check back here by the leaf spring hangers and along the fuel tank. And other trucks, like if you look right here, it's actually got tank strap positioners, because on a gas truck, sometimes they'll have a fuel tank, a pancake one up here, right? Because the exhaust isn't right running down the same side as the Cummins. So be sure to check on these 93 and down Dodge Rams, fuel tank back. I've never seen one rot from the fuel tank up. Check from the fuel tank back, especially right here, gang. All the way up this side and down this crease. This one's just dusty and dirty. Mine, I had to redo the frame from here all the way to the back. Thank God I had the help of Jason Mall, otherwise I wouldn't have done it. I had to completely redo mine. It was rotten on both sides, the spring hangers were gone, and I didn't see it because the guy, he undercoated it. And it was years ago, I was a bit of a rookie. Buyer beware. I won't say the person I got it from, there's no need for that, but make sure you look for this kind of stuff. and look where they, like whether they added camper bars. Look for rust lift. Twin Stick Garage. If you check out his channel, he goes into a good video on what happens when two pieces of metal and there's rust in between them. Check him out. But yeah, the steady bearing, the rust in the frame rails, the rust in the spring hangers, and of course you want to see if it's got a Dana 70 or Dana 60 in the back. And yeah, that's about it. Really, with a Cummins diesel, it doesn't matter on the miles. If it's been serviced and taken care of, that matters more than the mileage on the engine. So if you can look inside that engine and see that it's clean, you're laughing. Same with the valve lash adjustment. Always check that after you buy one. This truck doesn't need it, or I do a video on it. Other than that, there isn't really a whole bunch of pointers, guys. Be prepared that inside the cab there's going to be loose screws. The wiring sucks. The fuse box is stupid. The seats are horrendous. My truck, we put a 3rd gen Ram seat in. I'm going to put one in this too. But this is the biggest things, guys. Check these frame rails. All right, gang. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Let me know. Anything to do with these Dodge Ram trucks, 93 and down, I'm pretty confident I can answer it for you. If you're looking for one, if you have one and need some advice, let me know. Leave a comment, guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. Like, share, subscribe. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.